all these tribes. He combined them together. And if you open encyclopedia, the word Germany, you're going to be amazed. It's clearly, I'm quoting from the Hebrew encyclopedia, but all the encyclopedias copy one from the other. Germany had 300 tribes that united together to one country, to one. It's very interesting. In the Hebrew encyclopedia, it's in page 432, Germany. You can check in any other source. The question that I have is, who could have known first that there will be a country that comes out of this Asaph from the Bible that will be called Germany? Remember, when it was written, there was no Germany. Nobody knew that name. Who could have ever dreamed that this Germany will be a combination of 300 tribes? Do you think a person, a human being, it could be a brilliant human being? Do you think he could have such knowledge 1800 years before Germany will be born? From where? Where did he get this information from? The answer is, it's all divine information that was given to us by the Creator of the world. By the way, speaking about Germany, in an interview with Adolf Hitler himself, it's also, I'm quoting from the Hebrew Encyclopedia, in the word anti-Semitism, page 530, they interview Hitler. It comes from conversation with Brauching, conversation with Hitler. And this is what he says. Yes, we are barbarians. It's an honor to us to be barbarians. I'm releasing humankind from the spiritual cord and from the tortures, from the despicable tortures of this illusion that called conscious and ethic. Two defects Judaism brought to life. One in the body and one in the soul. In the body it's called circumcision, and in the soul it's called conscience. This is all Jewish invention. The war in this world is only between us and them, the Germans and the Jews, and everything else is all illusion. It's very interesting, because whatever he say, he didn't even know what he's saying. It started right there in the Torah, when Jacob and Esau, if you read in the beginning, in the first few chapters, it described. It started there. The descendants of Esau continue what their father wanted to do. And the Torah gave us the name, Germany. Is it possible that this information came out of people? For sure not. Speaking about the Holocaust, in the Torah, many people ask this famous question, where was God in the Holocaust? It's a good question. But this question, unfortunately, comes from ignorance. Why ignorance? If the Torah was not mentioned, if the Torah was not mentioning the Holocaust, then I understand. But since the Torah described the Holocaust 3,250 years before it started, where the question comes from? The Torah said that once the Jews will be assimilated with all the Gentiles, which it's forbidden to them, God did not give them permission, and they leave the Sabbath, they leave the covenant, they take off their yarmulke, and they behave like the Gentiles, they forget about religion, and obviously many other problems that we had. There will be times that I'm going to close my eyes, like I'm not there. Why? Because the Jews has the nerve to say, where is God? I will show them where is God. I will not be there. I will block my eyes from seeing their torture. You may ask, okay, how do we know that speaking here is speaking about the Holocaust? The Jews had many other pogroms and problems, the destruction of the first temple, the second temples. Millions of Jews were murdered, not only from 60 years ago. How do we know that we're speaking about the Holocaust? It's very interesting. Open Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 16 to 18. And this is how it starts. Vayomer Hashem el Moshe, and God told Moses, you're going to lay down with your father, which means you're going to pass away. And this nation is going to rebel against me and follow foreign gods in the countries where they're going to live, and would leave me and annul my covenant that I made with them. And at that day, I'm going to be very angry, and I would leave them and block my eyes from them. And they're going to have many tragedies. And at that day they will scream, God is not with us. That's why we have so many tragedies. And I will hide my face at that day for all the rebellions that they had against me, following foreign gods, foreign religions. This is Deuteronomy 31, verse 16 to 18. Inside that text, and God told Moses, in Hebrew is Vayomer Hashem el Moshe. The word Moshe, it's 3 letters, Mem, Shin, and Hey. You take the Hey, the last letter of that word Moses, you count 50 letters, you get the letter Shin. You count 50 letters, you get the letter Vav. You count 50 letters, you get the letter Aleph. You count 50 letters, you get the letter A. What do you get all together? Ha-Shoah, the Holocaust. 3,250 years before it came to the world, inside the Torah it described from A to Z completely, with names. There are many other names in this chapter, describing Hitler and Eichmann and a final solution and Zyklon B. Many words that relates to the Holocaust appear in that chapter in equal mathematical scheme. Is it possible that a person was able to know the entire Holocaust with names and details and write it in a book 3,320 years ago? Of course not. And what does the Torah say? This is a result of the assimilation, and Jews are rebelling against the Creator of the world, against their Father in heaven. So the Torah speaks about it. I don't understand why people ask, where was God in the Holocaust, if he already wrote in his book where he will be when times like this will arrive to the world. Of course, I'm not judging anybody. I'm not a judge and I have no say. My job here today is just to read to the people who are ignorant about Judaism. They may have knowledge in many other fields, but they never read the Torah once in their life. This is maybe the time to say that I've been giving lecture for about 15 years by now. Many, many lectures, radio shows, emails, speaking to people, meeting people, arguing with people. And I always ask in my lectures, and people can test in my website if I'm correct or not. I ask it a lot. People who are arguing with me how valid is the Torah, if it's the word of God or not, I ask them, did you ever read the Torah once in your life, from the beginning to the end, word by word, to understand the simple meaning of it before you come to the argument? Did you ever read it once? 15 years, I didn't find one person yet that read the Torah from A to Z and knows the simple explanation and comes to the argument with the knowledge, the necessary knowledge. Not even once. How is it possible they have speeches against the Torah, they criticize the Torah, and have no idea what the Torah says? They know a verse here and there, a little bit that they heard on the news or they read in a newspaper, or a little bit in the Bible lesson in school or in high school, whatever it was. They do not know anything, almost nothing, not even 1%. Just imagine if I go to a convention of brain surgeons, and me, I have no idea what brain is all about. I don't know, I never learned about brain enough. And I come and I say, all of you are wrong. You don't know how to operate on the brain. You should be from here. You're doing it from the opposite side. And I give a bombastic speech. After a few minutes, one of the surgeons will ask me, excuse me, sir, where are you from? Where is your education about brain? What is your knowledge? Can you show us a diploma, a certificate that you know what you're talking about? Where are you coming from? Where did you graduate? And then I will say, no, I never learned about brain. Just imagine what a fool I'm going to look like. Do anybody from that moment on will take me serious? Absolutely not. So the point, why would you argue about something you never learned even once in your life? You want to come to the argument? There's a lot to learn. You don't want to learn, you don't want to dedicate the time, please do not argue about something you have no idea about. Let's move on. I'm going to the next proof. The Torah says that one of the 3 covenants that God made with the Jewish nation is circumcision. Every male born in the 8 days has to be circumcised. Now, of course, I told you before, you cannot understand one law without the oral law. Here,